Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new idioms or phrases you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, just in the nick of time. This idiom is so common in everyday English. Just in the nick of time means you arrived or did something at exactly the right moment, usually when you were almost too late. It's like when you catch the bus right before it drives away, or when you finish your homework right before your teacher asks for it. The word nick here doesn't mean a small cut. In this expression, nick means a very small moment or a tiny amount of time. So when we say just in the nick of time, we're talking about that tiny moment when something could have gone wrong, but it worked out perfectly instead. Let me tell you about what happened to my friend Sarah last week. She was rushing to catch her flight to visit her family. Traffic was terrible, and she was getting really worried that she would miss her plane. When she finally got to the airport, she ran to the gate, and the gate agent was literally about to close the door. Sarah made it to her seat just in the nick of time. If she had been even 2 minutes later, she would have missed her flight completely. For example, you might say, "I finished my project just in the nick of time before the deadline." Here's another one. The firefighters arrived just in the nick of time to save the house. People often say, "We got to the movie theater just in the nick of time, right as the previews were starting." Have you ever had a moment like this in your life? Let me know in the comments about a time when you did something just in the nick of time. Number 2, I'll try my best. This is such a simple but important phrase that native speakers use all the time. I'll try my best means you will put in your maximum effort to do something well, even if you're not sure you can succeed. It shows that you care about doing a good job and you're willing to work hard. This expression is perfect when someone asks you to do something that might be challenging, or when you want to show that you're committed to helping. It's humble, but also shows determination. Native speakers love this phrase because it's honest. It doesn't promise perfection, but it promises effort. I remember when I was in college, my professor asked me to help organize a big event for international students. I had never organized anything like that before, and I felt pretty nervous about it. But instead of saying no, I looked at her and said, "I don't have much experience with this, but I'll try my best." And you know what? The event turned out great. Sometimes when we try our best, we surprise ourselves with what we can accomplish. For example, if your boss asks you to learn a new computer program, you might say, "I've never used that software before, but I'll try my best to learn it quickly." You might hear something like, "I'm not the greatest cook, but I'll try my best to make dinner for everyone." Let's take this one. I'll try my best to help you with your English homework. This phrase works in so many situations. Do you think you could use this expression in your daily life? I'd love to hear how you might use it. Number 3, say hello for me. This phrase is a lovely way to send greetings to someone through another person. When you say hello for me, you're asking someone to give your greetings to a third person when they see them. It's a warm, friendly way to show you're thinking about someone even when you can't see them yourself. Native speakers use this expression all the time when they're talking to friends or family members who are going to see people they know. It's a way to stay connected with people in your life, even when you can't be there in person. It shows you care about maintaining relationships and that you remember the people in your extended social circle. Here's a sweet story about this. My neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, is 75 years old, and she's friends with my grandmother who lives in another state. Every time I talk to Mrs. Johnson, she always says, "When you call your grandmother next time, please say hello for me and tell her I'm thinking about her." It's such a kind gesture, and it always makes my grandmother smile when I pass along the message. These little connections between people really matter. For example, when your friend is going home to visit their family, you might say hello to your mom for me." Here's another one. "I heard you're seeing Tom this weekend. Please say hello for me." People often say, "When you go to the office tomorrow, say hello to everyone for me." It's such a simple way to show you care about people. Have you ever used an expression like this in your own language? Let me know in the comments. Number 4, we're the same age. This sentence is so useful when you're getting to know new people. "We're the same age" simply means that you and another person were born in the same year or very close to it. It's a great way to find common ground with someone and start building a connection. Age can be a sensitive topic in many cultures, but in casual American English conversation, especially among young people, it's pretty normal to talk about age when you're getting to know someone. When you discover you're the same age as someone, it often creates an instant bond because you probably grew up with similar experiences, watched the same TV shows, or remember the same historical events. I'll never forget when I started my first job out of college. I was pretty nervous because everyone seemed so experienced and professional. But during lunch on my first day, I started talking with a coworker named Jessica. We got to talking about when we graduated from college, and suddenly we realized we were the same age. We had both graduated the same year, we remembered the same songs being popular in high school, and we even had similar experiences with online learning during college. Finding out we were the same age made me feel so much more comfortable and less alone in that new environment. For example, you might say, "Wait, you were born in 1995 too. We're the same age." You might hear something like, "I can't believe we're the same age. You seem so much more mature than me." Imagine this. My sister and my best friend are the same age, so they understand each other really well. It's amazing how this simple connection can bring people together. Do you remember a time when you found out you were the same age as someone new? Share your story in the comments. Number 5, don't make a scene. This phrase is super important to understand because it's about social behavior and being polite in public places. Don't make a scene means don't act in a way that draws unwanted attention from other people around you. It usually means don't get loud, don't get emotional, or don't do anything that makes other people stare or feel uncomfortable. American culture values keeping personal problems private, especially in public spaces. When someone says, "Don't make a scene," they're asking you to handle whatever situation you're in quietly and calmly. It's not that your feelings aren't important. It's just that there's a time and place for everything, and a public place usually isn't the right time for big emotional reactions. I remember being at a restaurant with my friend and her boyfriend. They started having an argument about something that happened earlier that day, and their voices kept getting louder and louder. Other people in the restaurant were starting to look over at our table. I leaned over and quietly said, "Hey, you guys, don't make a scene here. Maybe we can talk about this when we get back to the car." They realized they were getting carried away and calmed down. Later, my friend thanked me because she was embarrassed that strangers were watching their argument. For example, a parent might tell their child, "I know you want that toy, but please don't make a scene in the store." Here's another one. Even though I was really angry about the mistake on my bill, I tried not to make a scene at the restaurant. Let's take this one. She was so upset about losing her job, but she didn't want to make a scene at the office. This expression is all about being aware of your surroundings and other people. Have you ever been in a situation where someone made a scene? How did it make you feel? Number 6. What's on your mind? This is such a caring and gentle way to ask someone what they're thinking about. What's on your mind? Means you've noticed that someone seems to be thinking deeply about something, or maybe they seem worried or distracted, and you want to know what's bothering them or occupying their thoughts. This expression shows that you care about someone, and you're paying attention to their emotional state. It's more gentle than asking, "What's wrong?" Because sometimes nothing is wrong, the person is just thinking about something. It opens the door for someone to share what they're thinking about, but it doesn't pressure them to talk if they don't want to. My best friend and I were having coffee last Saturday, and I noticed she seemed really quiet and thoughtful. She kept looking out the window and wasn't really participating in our conversation. Finally, I put my hand on her arm and said, "Hey, what's on your mind? You seem like you're thinking about something important." She smiled and told me she had been offered a new job in another city, and she was trying to decide whether to take it. She said she was so glad I asked because she really needed someone to talk through her decision with. For example, if you notice your friend seems distracted, you might say, "You've been quiet today, what's on your mind?" You might hear something like, "You look worried, what's on your mind?" People often say, "I can tell something is bothering you. What's on your mind?" It's such a thoughtful way to show someone you care about them. When was the last time someone asked you what was on your mind? Let me know in the comments how it made you feel. Number 7, not a chance in hell. Okay, this expression is pretty strong. Not a chance in hell means absolutely not. There's no way something will happen. It's completely impossible. This is a very emphatic way to say no to something. The word hell makes this expression pretty intense, so you want to be careful about when and where you use it. This expression comes from the idea that hell is the most impossible place for good things to happen. So if something doesn't have a chance even in hell, then it really has no chance at all. Native speakers use this when they want to be very clear that something is never going to happen, or when they're really frustrated or angry about a request. Now, be careful with this one because it contains the word hell, which some people might find offensive, especially in religious or very formal settings. You'd use this with close friends or in casual situations, but probably not with your boss or your grandmother, depending on your family. Here's a funny story. My brother asked me if he could borrow my brand new car to take his friends on a road trip to the beach. This is the same brother who crashed his own car last year and still owes me money from the last time I helped him out. I looked at him and said, "Not a chance in hell." He laughed because he knew I was right. He's not getting my car until he proves he can be more responsible. For example, if someone asks you to work overtime every day for a month without extra pay, you might think, not a chance in hell. Here's another one. Do you think it will snow in July in Texas? Not a chance in hell. Let's take this one. My ex-boyfriend wants to get back together, but not a chance in hell is that happening. This expression definitely has attitude. Have you ever felt so strongly about saying no to something? Share your story in the comments, but remember to keep it appropriate. Number 8, that happens. This is such a useful and comforting phrase. That happens means that the situation someone is describing is normal, common, or something that occurs to many people. It's a way to make someone feel better when they're embarrassed or upset about something by letting them know they're not alone. Native speakers use this expression to normalize experiences and help people feel less bad about mistakes or awkward situations. It's a gentle way of saying, "Don't worry about it. This is normal. You're not the first person this has happened to." It shows empathy and understanding. I was at a coffee shop last week, and the woman in front of me in line was ordering her drink. When she went to pay, she realized she had forgotten her wallet at home. She looked so embarrassed and started apologizing to everyone. The barista smiled and said, "Don't worry about it, that happens all the time. Just come back and pay later." The woman looked so relieved. Sometimes we all need to hear that our little mistakes are normal and human. For example, if your friend spills coffee on their shirt right before an important meeting, you might say, "Oh no. Well, that happens to everyone." You might hear something like, "I locked my keys in my car again." That happens, don't worry about it. People often say, "I completely forgot about the meeting." That happens, just apologize and reschedule. It's such a kind way to make people feel better about their mistakes. Think about a time when someone said something like this to you. How did it make you feel? Let me know in the comments. Number 9, how would you like to pay? This is a super practical sentence that you'll hear all the time when you're shopping or paying for services. How would you like to pay? Is what cashiers, waiters, and service people ask when it's time for you to pay your bill. They're asking about your preferred payment method. In today's world, there are so many ways to pay for things. Cash, credit cards, debit cards, mobile payment apps like Apple Pay or Google Pay, online payment systems like PayPal, or even cryptocurrency in some places. So this question helps the person taking your payment know what options you want to use. Understanding this question is really important for everyday life, especially if you're living in or visiting an English-speaking country. You'll hear it at grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, online shopping checkout pages, and basically anywhere you need to pay for something. Just yesterday, I was buying groceries at my local supermarket. When I finished putting all my items on the counter, the cashier smiled and said, "Your total is $47.82. How would you like to pay?" I pulled out my credit card and said, "I'll pay with card, please." It's such a routine interaction, but it's one of those phrases you need to understand to navigate daily life smoothly. For example, at a restaurant, the server might ask, "How would you like to pay for your meal tonight?" You might hear something like, "Your haircut looks great. How would you like to pay?" Imagine this. When you're buying something online, the website asks, "How would you like to pay for your order?" This is definitely one of those expressions you'll use regularly in real life. Have you ever been confused by different payment options in a store? Tell me about your experience in the comments. Number 10, control your temper. This phrase is about managing your emotions, specifically anger. Control your temper means to stay calm and not let your anger take over your behavior. Your temper refers to how quickly you get angry and how you express that anger. When someone tells you to control your temper, they're asking you to manage your angry feelings in a healthy way. This expression is really important because losing your temper can damage relationships, hurt other people's feelings, and sometimes even get you in trouble at work or school. Controlling your temper doesn't mean you can't feel angry. It means you handle your anger in a mature, respectful way. Everyone gets angry sometimes. That's completely normal and human. But how we express that anger makes a big difference in our relationships and our success in life. Native speakers understand that self-control is really important, especially when dealing with frustrating situations. I remember when my teenage cousin was having trouble with his math homework. He kept getting the wrong answer, and he was getting more and more frustrated. Finally, he threw his pencil across the room and started yelling about how stupid math was. His mom came into the room and calmly said, "I understand you're frustrated, but you need to control your temper. Getting angry isn't going to help you solve the problem." She was right, and after he calmed down, she helped him figure out where he was making his mistake. For example, if someone is getting road rage while driving, their passenger might say, "Hey, control your temper. Getting angry at other drivers isn't worth it." Here's another one. "I know the customer was rude, but you need to control your temper at work." Let's take this one. "My brother has been working on controlling his temper since he became a father." Managing anger is a skill that everyone needs to develop. Do you have any tips for controlling your temper when you get frustrated? Share your advice in the comments. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered so much ground today. Let's quickly go through these 10 expressions one more time. We learned just in the nick of time for those perfect timing moments. "I'll try my best" for showing your commitment to putting in effort. "Say hello" for me for sending greetings through other people. "We're the same age" for connecting with people who were born around the same time as you. "Don't make a scene" for staying calm in public situations. We also covered "what's on your mind" for caring about what someone is thinking. "Not a chance in hell" for expressing a very strong no. "That happens" for comforting someone when normal things go wrong. "How would you like to pay" for payment situations. And finally, "control your temper" for managing angry feelings in a healthy way. These expressions are used by native English speakers every single day, and now you know exactly what they mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Practice using these in your daily life, and you'll sound more and more like a native speaker. If this video helped you learn something new, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Tomorrow, I'll be back with 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that will help you understand English even better. Learning English is a journey, and every day you're getting better and better. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Or maybe you have a funny story about using one of these in real life. I love reading your comments and hearing about your English learning journey. Take care and keep practicing your English. You're doing amazing, and I'll see you tomorrow for more fun learning together.